Hello everyone, I'm Amanda Turner.
And I'm Wendy Brockman. Thanks for joining us.
For Aurora Public School students, the sky's the limit, literally. After participating in a 9-week aviation ground school program, APS students headed to Front Range Airport, where they took to the skies for the very first time. Aurora 8 was there to see this high-altitude learning experience take off.
Altitude. Ignition off, mass switch off, good to go.
Awesome.
This is retired Air Force General John Barry. This is the view from John Barry's airplane. Retired from his position as superintendent of Aurora Public Schools, Mr. Barry is still teaching kids here in Aurora in a very unique classroom.
Well, Aurora Public Schools now, we've been doing this for about 8 years. So we've put anywhere from 30 to 50 kids through each semester. So the course itself is 9 weeks long. For Saturdays, we do 2 hours from 10 to noon. And the last weekend, they get to fly. Today's the fly day.
After attending ground school for the past 2 months, APS students are prepared for takeoff, flying in planes just like this one, with seasoned pilots and flight instructors from the Young Eagles organization.
So we have pilots who have their own airplanes, they're veterans and have flown for years. And the idea is to be able to now take all those academic hours that they put in and now put it all together in a flight.
Traveling at over 130 miles per hour at an elevation of over 10,000 feet, just the thought of it is exciting, maybe even a little scary for many of us. So how did these future pilots feel about taking flight?
Oh, it's great. You get some that are kind of timid about it, and then some that are really, really excited to be up there, but they are all always come down with a smile on their face and happy to get up there.
It's clear to see how excited the kids get as soon as they see the airplane. When they come down from their discovery flight with a group like Young Eagles, I mean, they're totally lit up, and for a certain percentage of these kids, they're always going to remember that flight.
This is my first time in a smaller plane, so you could definitely feel it a lot more. I mean, it was exhilarating, the takeoff. During flight, when I actually got to fly, it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm actually moving this thing myself. But it was really, really fun, so good experience.
This program has helped to launch careers in aviation.
This was my initial beginning of my aviation career. I want to become an aerospace engineer and learn how to fly, get all my trainings and ratings, and ultimately I want to be a test pilot.
Volunteering their time, planes, and fuel, participants in the Aviation Ground School have just one goal in mind for Aurora students.
Give them the art of the possible and open their eyes to the great opportunities that are available in aerospace.
The volunteers who work with Young Eagles are incredible because they're bringing, a lot of cases, their aircraft, they're bringing their own time, which instructor fees can be really high at a flight school. Just time in the airplane is a huge investment. So yeah, the cost, I mean, it could be a couple $100s for each of these flights to take these kids up and give them that experience. So it's very generous, but I think it's worth it because the aviation community needs youth like this to get involved at an early age.
During ground school, students learn everything from aircraft controls and instruments to flight planning, even airport operations, building a foundation for careers as future pilots. And sometimes flying into the horizon teaches students to broaden their horizons.
The sky is the limit, you know. Just my experience working with youth at this point, a lot of kids think stuff like this is outside their reach. Like flying an airplane is just like some alien thing that no one can do. So I think it's fun to kind of bring it down to earth for them, that if it's something that you want to accomplish, or it might not be flying, but they can see that attainable just by going through this class.
It was so fun to be there to experience the joy on those kids' faces. Did you know that we're facing a pilot shortage? To keep up with hiring demand, we need to train over 6,000 new pilots in the U.S. each year. Instead, only about 400 people get their pilot's license annually. The Aurora Public Schools Aviation Ground School happens each year. Students in 8th through 12th grade are eligible to participate, and best part, the program is free. You can learn more about Young Eagles youth aviation programs offered in our area at their website. Just visit youngeagles.org. Fun and fashion were the name of the game at the Aurora Fox Theater last week. It was part of the second annual Athena Project Arts Festival, created to promote women in the arts. Take a look as local designers showcase their collections. As the sun sets on the Fox Theater here in Aurora, the party is just getting started.
Little cocktail dress they had me wear. It was a little short, but it was fun.
The runway is heating up at the Utopia Dystopia themed fashion show fundraiser, part of the Athena Project Arts Festival.
Athena Project is a nonprofit organization that focuses on celebrating female artists. And so the way that we do that is we put on a festival every year, which incorporates music and dance and theater and a fashion show and visual artists.
Sponsored by the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design, the fundraiser featured a unique blend of performance art and fashion, showcasing local female designers, performances by Samba Colorado, and even some saucy numbers by the Follies Voodoo Burlesque Showcase that were too hot for TV.
Dance, theater, and the arts, everything is parallel, being creative, being an individual, and just having the support of other individuals. Even if you're doing something completely different, we can all come together and share our work.
Creative chaos backstage and a sold-out house, the fashion show was a smash hit. Just one of the many fun and very successful events at this year's Athena Project Arts Festival.
The world needs more female artists' voices to be heard, and rather than us just kind of gripe about it and complain and stand on a soapbox, we decided to actually go ahead and do something about it.
That was such a fun event. This was the second year for the Athena Arts Festival. The 16-day event featured 200 female artists in fashion, theater, music, and art. Nestled against the Himalayas, in between neighbors China and India, you'll find Bhutan, or the land of the thunder dragon, as locals call it. It's a tiny, remote, impoverished kingdom, and it used to be home to a surprising number of people now living right here in Aurora. Meet Govinda.
My name is Govinda. My birthplace is Bhutan. Because of political turmoil in Bhutan, we were in Nepal in a refugee camp for 20 years.
In Nepal, Govinda was an astrologer and fortune teller. Today, he's a student. He's in class, learning to speak English.
We're just concentrating on basic introduction type stuff, and when you meet people and greet people, just like we have simple conversations that we have every day as English speakers. We're all having a lot of fun, and that's the main thing, I think, and we're learning some English along the way.
I would love to speak and talk in English very much. I like that a lot.
Devichapagan.
This is Devi.
My dad was born in Bhutan and I am from Bhutan.
A farmer in his home country, Devi understands the importance of staying in shape.
3, control the movement. 2, last one.
So after English class, he heads into a group exercise class.
Many of our newly arriving refugees are resettled in the Aurora area. And we wanted them to be able to come and make friends in their own community that are in their own age group, and to be able to access different kinds of fitness and wellness classes to be able to improve their overall quality of life.
It's all thanks to the Refugee Elder Program at the Aurora Center for Active Adults. About 2,000 refugees settle in Colorado each year.
Many of the older adults in this population are very much isolated at home due to language barriers and not being able to access transportation due to the language and the cultural barriers. Many of these elders, unfortunately, they lose a lot when they come here.
The Refugee Elders Program strives to increase integration opportunities and help refugees to build friendships with American friends.
We've seen a really remarkable change in the lives of the refugee elders who have learned a lot more English. They felt a lot more connected to the community, and I think, many of them truly feel recognized and honored by being able to share their skills here.
Though they're so far from home, Nepali Bhutanese value the opportunity to pass on their native teachings and traditions.
So I have a deep inside myself that if we could preserve our culture and tradition, And if this could go to the next generation, I would be very happy.
Having the refugee elder program here at the center, allows these elders to get out in the community, but it allows the community the opportunity to really embrace them and have fun together. So it's been a great program.
The refugee elders are passing on more than wisdom. They're a source of inspiration as well.
What people can go through and survive and yet be as resilient as these people are, because some of them have gone through really horrific things in their own homelands. And then you pick them up and put them down halfway around the world. And I can't imagine that, myself doing that.
They're showing us a new way to look at life. They've been through so much and they're all survivors, and really teaching us how to appreciate the value of life.
And they're just so grateful. I think if we were all more grateful for everything we have, that we would all have that kind of smile. I think that this type of program is what makes Aurora a great community.
Here we are happy, and we are good.
The Aurora Center for Active Adults works with the Area Agency on Aging, using federal and state dollars to fund the Refugee Elders program. In addition to language and exercise classes, refugees also have access to billiards and the rec center's weight room. Currently serving the Nepali, Bhutanese, Karen, Somali, and Eritrean communities here in Aurora, the program is available to any refugee aged 60 and over. For more information, just check out their website. It's at auroragov.org/recreation.